5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Sending in the Guard.
We have to save St. Louis.
The presidential pledge tonight to fight crime in the Gateway City.
There's another hot and steamy day today, rain-free once again. Today's highs were in the low 90s, but we've got a cold front with showers and storms and better temperatures. I've got your forecast coming up.
Our top story, living in terror.
Yeah, they got a pretty place, but they don't feel safe in it.
Tonight, the changes coming to a troubled North City apartment building.
Good evening, I'm Randy Knott. Mike and Kelly had the night off. Tonight, we're hearing from the managers of the Arlington Grove apartments in North St. Louis, weeks after neighbors sounded the alarm about a need for stepped-up safety. It's a story that our Brent Solomon has followed now for weeks, and he joins us now with what will happen next. Brent?
Well, Rennie, McCormick Barron is the name of the company that manages Arlington Grove. Tonight, I've learned managers met with concerned residents and community leaders, and many of them say things seem to be headed in the right direction.
I heard gunshots all day. I heard gunshots every night.
It's been a month now since we shared with you neighbors' frustrations.
It hurts to hear my granddaughter say, Nanny, I don't want to come over your house because I don't want to hear those gunshots, or I'm scared I'm going to get shot.
Weeks later, I started asking questions. Is there any progress happening for residents at Arlington Grove?
I'm excited because the residents are going to be at the table.
Alderwoman Pam Boyd says Tuesday the complex held a follow-up meeting for residents on site and came up with a safety plan.
We got the management, we got the housing authority, we got HUD there. They're going to get cameras connected to the real crime center. In the meantime, we pushed and said you need to have security until that's completed.
Add to that, police being on high alert.
The police chief stated that they approached a teen on a porch with guns, did not have the proper permits. They confiscated the guns, conducted testing, and the guns turned out to be stolen.
State Rep Dale Taylor, who was also at that meeting, says he's encouraged to see officers taking action when they see teens openly carrying guns.
And ask, do you have the proper permit for this? And if not, they can write a citation.
Residents are also creating a council with direct access to police when issues arise.
I believe that once those things are put in place, that will be, a movement toward progress.
All hands on deck here. Apartment management says they've installed new signage, they're performing safety walks, and even developing a plan to handle what they call nuisance tenants. I've learned the nearby church, Friendly Temple, also partnering to help make this safety plan work.
Tonight, Memphis is bracing for the arrival of the National Guard, and President Trump is eyeing a similar operation for right here in St. Louis. The president signed an order sending the Memphis Safe Task Force to the Tennessee city. And this is part of the administration's effort to crack down on crime across the nation's major cities. And today, President Trump said Chicago is next, but St. Louis is not far behind.
We have to save St. Louis. We have to save Chicago. We think Chicago is going to be next, and we'll get to St. Louis.
Right now, there is no clear timeline on any of these deployments, but troops are expected in Memphis as soon as this week. We reached out to St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer's office for comment tonight. Her spokesperson referred back to a statement released last week saying, quote, crime unquestionably remains too high in St. Louis, but we have seen massive improvements in the past 5 years, and that positive trend is continuing, including now that our police department answers to Republican Governor Mike Kehoe. Now, despite safety strides, public perception of crime remains at an all-time high. A recent survey obtained by 5 on Your Side found 80% of St. Louisans surveyed feared gunshots. 58% say they called 911 in the last year, with 22% saying no one responded. 57% said they were not satisfied with the police response. Today, St. Louis police are confirming it was a woman whose body was found wrapped in garbage bags and stuffed into a tote in North City. Her remains were found yesterday afternoon on Harney Avenue, just a few blocks from Bell Fountain Cemetery. Investigators are now working to figure out who this woman is and how she died. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The number is 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, a bill redrawing Missouri's congressional map sits on Governor Mike Kehoe's desk, awaiting his signature. The legislation now faces several legal challenges. 5 News Side's Laura Barczewski spoke with attorneys and legislators defending this map. Laura?
Rennie, the main argument for these lawsuits is the same, that the mid-decade map goes against the Missouri Constitution. At the same time, there's an initiative happening to put this bill in front of the voters. Here's what the new Missouri First map will look like. It splits Kansas City, which used to only be District 5, into 4, 5, and 6, which now includes bigger portions of rural Missouri. Attorney Chuck Hatfield says one of the issues with the map is districts are supposed to be compact.
Missouri now has at least one district that is not particularly compact. There is also, there may be a drafting error in this bill where one particular voting block is drawn into 2 different congressional districts. That would be a problem.
Representative Justin Sparks, who spearheaded a lot of discussion during the special session, says the opposite.
So I think that the new 7-1 map is actually an improvement. And I think that's because it's more contiguous. I think it's better. I think it looks better, meaning like the districts make more sense.
Hatfield says their lawsuit focuses on the constitutionality of redistricting before 2030.
Because they haven't received that census data, they simply cannot do it at all. So there's a case, Missouri Supreme Court case in 1955 that says pretty clearly that redistricting is supposed to happen when the decennial census occurs. There's another case in 2010 that says the same thing.
Sparks stands by his argument. There's nothing that says they can't do it.
I wouldn't have supported it if I thought it was unconstitutional, no matter what the president asked us to do. Even though he's a Republican and we're Republican, and I think that the current map is gerrymandered and we needed to make the improvement on it.
Hatfield says in addition to the lawsuits, a group called People Not Politicians filed what's called a citizen referendum, where they have 90 days to get 100,000 signatures to put this map in front of the voters.
There is a process to get the proper forms filed and approved by the Secretary of State's office, and that started about an hour after the legislature passed the bill.
Sparks says he has no problem with the courts or the voters making a decision about the map.
Having them to be able to vote on something like this is healthy.
While Governor Mike Kehoe has not officially signed the bill yet, he has expressed support for it in a video message over the weekend. I reached out to his office for an update, as well as an update on when he might sign it, and did not hear back yet. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, Clayton police are asking for your help in cracking a hate crime case. Police released this video of a person who they believe is connected to last month's crime. On the night of August the 5th, someone set multiple cars on fire and wrote anti-Semitic messages on the street, leading to fear among the local Jewish community.
Because it could be any of us, and it's in our home. You know, when we're here in the congregation, we're protected. We have security, we have a police presence, but in my own individual home, anything could happen, and I think that fear has very much played itself out.
If you know who the person is in these images, call Crime Stoppers. The number is 866-371-TIPS. Become an ICE training facility, he sent that suggestion to the Department of Homeland Security today. Senator Hawley says the Army installation has the infrastructure to support ICE's expanding immigration enforcement workforce. Tonight, the Hispanic Heritage flag is flying outside St. Louis City Hall. It was raised this morning to begin Hispanic Heritage Month. Now, if you're wondering why September the 15th, it's actually the Independence Day for several Latin American countries. The flag, by the way, was designed by local artist Jose Garza. Tonight, we feature our first Latina business owner who came to this country for safety, and she found a future. Our Justina Cornell sat down with the founder of Elsa's Cleaning Company to talk about her dream.
Hola, chicas. Elsa Avila welcomes her staff into this home. She remembers being in their shoes. Career-driven and committed. More than a decade ago, Elsa started cleaning homes. The job came out of necessity to support her 3 little ones. In her early 20s, Elsa came from Mexico to St. Louis seeking a better life from a toxic situation.
It wasn't easy. I wasn't speaking the language. I didn't know the culture, and everything looked so different by then.
She left everything behind.
I was like, I really want to come to this country and have a career. I want my kids to one day feel so proud of me. And I was like, cleaning homes, it didn't kind of click. But I was like, you know what, I'll do it.
And it worked. She learned it was more than a job.
It also provided me with some self-esteem and a lot of values that I didn't have when I grew up.
Beyond her home, Elsa wanted to pay it forward. 2 years ago, she took courses to build her business, Elsa's Cleaning Company. Her hiring is strategic.
My cleaning company is focusing hiring only single moms to provide them with, a better wage, so that they can provide better.
Elsa's experience is one about resilience and empowerment. She's grown her business working in homes to corporate office spaces. That growth also seen on TikTok with more than 100,000 followers.
And so I started creating content about it. I was like sharing cleaning tips.
Where do you see your business going? Really, my last question. Any other advice to any other women business owners or Latina business owners? What would you say?
Well, definitely my advice will be to start, creating systems and knowing your numbers. I feel like that's key.
Her main tip, never stop dreaming.
I was like, one day my kids are gonna be proud of me, and one day I'm gonna be able to have this company, and I'm gonna be able to provide jobs for my other single moms there.
What would you say to your 20-year-old self now?
I will say, keep on being bold, keep on pushing forward, keep on being focused, because honestly, my focus has been my family, my children. And thanks to that focus, I can say that I'm successful now, and I encourage everyone to keep on going. Don't stop. Keep on dreaming, and you will accomplish your goals.
Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
You can watch our full special on Hispanic Heritage Month in the St. Louis area anytime on our 5+ streaming app. Download and watch for free on your Roku, Fire, Apple, Samsung, or LG TV.
The Show Me State not showing up for vaccinations.
We're just in a waiting phase before measles just comes and rocks the state of Missouri.
Tonight, the eye-opening report on the vaccine divide here in St. Louis.
Drought conditions have settled into our region the last few weeks, but we've got a cold front with showers and storms on the way, and I've got your forecast coming up next.
Tonight, an NBC News investigation is uncovering a steep decline in childhood vaccination rates. Stephanie Gosk has the alarming findings right here in St. Louis.
To go to Premier Charter School in St. Louis, students have to be up to date on their vaccines.
And go.
School nurse Virginia Wilson makes sure they are.
Right. So it's a big chunk of your job in the beginning of the school year.
It is my entire job at the beginning of the school year.
And she says it's getting harder.
How many kindergartners this year needed vaccines?
We're probably for our school around like 20% need them.
NBC News medical unit and researchers at Stanford University crunched school immunization data from every state. In St. Louis City, from the 2010 school year to 2024, the number of kindergartners fully vaccinated against measles has dropped from nearly 90% to 74%.
We're just in a waiting phase before measles just comes and rocks the state of Missouri.
The vaccination rate is well below herd immunity and 3 points lower than Gaines County, Texas, the epicenter of a measles outbreak earlier this year.
I'm surprised and shocked, and it's scary.
Emily and Ryan Pratt's 9-year-old daughter Lucy has a potentially life-threatening autoimmune disease. Every month she gets an infusion to slow it down, and she takes daily medications that suppress her immune system, all the while going to 4th grade in a St. Louis public school.
She's doing normal elementary school kid things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's terrifying to have to choose and know that there's going to be risk no matter what we choose. One child or adult could cause an outbreak that she potentially would have life-threatening illnesses or complications from.
The vaccination rates in St. Louis City are especially low, but in a 6-month analysis of counties nationwide, NBC News discovered that since 2019, 77% of American counties have seen vaccination rates decline. In low-income areas, access to vaccines is a challenge, and that is combining with growing hesitancy.
It is playing Russian roulette with your babies.
Often spread by vaccine skeptics on social media.
I wholeheartedly believe in not vaccinating.
While in the federal government, U.S. Health Secretary RFK Jr. has publicly questioned the safety and efficacy of vaccines. He also recently dismissed an entire panel of vaccine experts and ousted the CDC director. In Missouri, the law mandates children be immunized to attend school unless they have a health or religious exemption.
The St. Louis School District declined our request for an interview, but the district's head nurse told NBC News that schools are not strictly enforcing vaccination rules. They want kids to stay in the classroom instead. She tells us that last year there was a school where nearly 200 students were attending who were not fully vaccinated.
In a statement, the school district told us it is actively working to address the issue, and their priority is the health and well-being of their students, while adding the real-world application of the vaccination policy can be challenging. The Pratt family would like to see more done.
There needs to be a concerted effort to say we need the vaccination rate to increase, and this is how we're going to do it.
Sounds like what you're looking for is a plan.
It would be nice to have a plan, yes.
And acknowledgement of the problem. I think to get a plan, we have to acknowledge there's a problem.
Now, just today, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. appointed 5 new members to the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee just days before a key meeting on vaccine recommendations. Today, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed an executive order to protect COVID vaccine access to state residents ahead of the fall respiratory season. The governor says it's in response to confusion over federal guidelines. Lance Blocker joins us now with the weather impact forecast. And Lance, give me some rain, please.
Yeah,
my grass can't take it anymore.
No, it's coming, but it's going to be about a week away.
Okay, hopefully it can wait that long.
We'll have to deal with that. All right, let's go and check it out right now. A few locations did get some rain today in Phelps County, and that's about it. But they got some good rain down there, upwards of 1. Radar estimates closer to 2 inches of rain. The rest of us just dried out today under the hot September sky. Right now, radar checks out pretty much all clear for us across our area. Temperatures are in the upper, well, I think they're the upper 80s. Let's see what they are. Lower 80s. There it is. Lower 80s. It's 10 o'clock at night. Of course, it's not upper 80s, but still, it feels like it. Over the last few days, of course, it's felt pretty hot out there. 65-degree dew point, 80 degrees. That means feels like 82 degrees. It's going to feel closer to the 100-degree mark by the end of this week at times. 93 tomorrow, 92 on Wednesday. Prefrontal warming on Thursday means we hit the mid-90s. That's when it'll feel more like 100 degrees. But prefrontal warming means there's post-frontal cooling as we get into Friday and Saturday. It's a cold front technically. I wouldn't call that cold, but at least it won't be 90, right? So mid-80s as we work on in through the weekend. This has been the problem. This high pressure, it's been our predominant feature for the past 2 weeks. Watch what happens as I put this in motion. That high pressure weakens, pushes out of here. That allows this area of low pressure back behind me to slowly drift eastbound. That means rain chances will be on the increase. Thursday, maybe a few isolated showers and storms. Again, that's because the high pressure is out of here. High pressure pushes back down to the surface and resists thunderstorm development. So as we get on in through the end of this week, that high pressure is out of here, allowing the chance for rain to return and this cold front to arrive by Friday. That means more scattered showers and storms. This will not be a drought buster, but it'll at least put some rain on that. Moderate drought conditions across most of the region, severe drought conditions across portions of Illinois here, abnormally dry conditions all spell out to drought conditions. We've experienced that, and we call this a flash drought because it really onset over the past 30 days, and that's it. So hopefully the rain will help. We're definitely excited about that. But definitely keep watering your lawn as we move through the next few days here as well. Warmer than average temperatures unfortunately expected to continue through the 3rd week of September, but will be in the low 80s. That's a few degrees above our average conditions into the 70s. But as we can see over the next 7 days, 90-degree weather lasts through Thursday. There's that front I was talking about. 30% chance of rain on Thursday, 60% on Friday. We'll keep the rain chances through the weekend, but at least we'll be out of the 90s. All right, Frank, take it away.
All right, we had a fun high school football game, a great Monday night NFL game. The Cardinals brought back a star, and we're playing hit and run with John Kelly. The Cardinals and Reds opened up a 3-game series tonight at Busch. The Cardinals likely won't make the playoffs. However, if they sweep the Reds, they would move ahead of them in the standings. So in the words of Carl Spackler and Caddyshack, we would have that going for us, which is nice. Nolan Arenado has not played a game in nearly 7 weeks with the right shoulder strain. First pitch he sees, he hits. The Cardinals tie the game at 1 on this RBI that scores Wilson Contreras. Well, it was 8-6 Reds in the 9th, and well, look what happens here. Tyler Stevenson will blow this game open. The bases loaded double off Kyle Leahy, and the Reds take game 1 11-6. The skipper did not blame Leahy, who has been good, but the other pitchers in the bullpen.
The other guys, at some point, man, have to demonstrate the ability to get outs at this level. That's just bottom line. We can't use the same guys every day. We had a lead. Offense did a pretty nice job. Other guys have to step up. It's their time to do that.
Today at Belle Reve, the Blues held their annual Blues for Kids charity golf tournament. Head coach Jim Montgomery and winger Dylan Holloway were a couple of players on the course. The coach is expected to see players like top prospect Dalibor Dvorsky competing for roster spots when camp begins on Thursday.
Just like everybody else that's coming to camp, they got to come here and prove that they're going to earn a job. And that's what camp's about. That's what gets you excited. You want to see who's making that next jump, especially someone like Dalibor, who's young, who's physically and mentally getting better and better.
The first Monday night game was incredible. Nick Chubb goes 25 yards for the score. The Texans lead the Bucs 19-14 with about 2 minutes to play. But Tampa counters with 6 seconds left. Rashad White scores. Bucs win 2019. Former Mizzou quarterback Matty Mock now coaching Principi. It's a rare Monday night football game in high school football as they square off against Afton. And Matty's teams will travel by air. Tristan Kuhn throws it. Nehemiah Swanson will do the rest. Great video by Jimmy Krukow. Principia wins it 56-38. On Mondays, we often play Hit and Run with sports celebrities. Legendary broadcaster John Kelly used to do the Blues, and now he will do the Kings. Let's play Hit and Run.
Bozak in front, they score! Schwartz tipped it in! I do not believe it! Schwartz has given the Blues with 15 seconds to go, a 3-2 lead. This is crazy!
The moment you knew the Stanley Cup was going to happen, that you felt, hey, we can win this thing.
I felt the night Maroons scored in double overtime on May 7th. It was the most agonizing game ever I've watched. I was watching the game. I did post-game because I just knew that if they could get through this game, they could win. And I kept looking at my dad's banner during the game. I had never done that before, and I said, come on, Dad, help us here, help us. And then Patty scored, and then I felt after that series, that second-round series, I felt they were going to win it.
Favorite all-time Blues to chat with?
My favorite Blues player all time is the late Barclay Plager.
Your favorite call of all time?
Steen's shorthanded goal against the Kings in Game 1 in 13.
Origin of thank you, thank you, thank you.
It actually started the first time I was here in St. Louis. I was here from '89 to '92, and it was my last year before I went to Tampa. Brad Hull scored an overtime goal against the Blackhawks, and I said it the first time, and I got a lot of reaction.
Right into Brad Hull, a shot, he scores! Brad Hull, he's done it again! This time, thank you!
What would you want to tell St. Louis as you leave for LA?
I love St. Louis, and I've really enjoyed my time here. I love the fans, but unfortunately, I got to say, go Kings, go, Frank.
I don't know about you, but I got chills listening to some of those
Oh,
calls.
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
you think about it, his dad was the greatest play-by-play broadcaster of all time in the NHL. John is spectacular. I mean, that back-to-back father and son, it's kind of like the Bucks.
It's special.
Yeah,
it is
really
special.
is.
Thank you, Frank. Breaking bread with more than 1,000 neighbors, the colossal celebration tonight for 25 years of blazing new paths. A circular gathering tonight celebrating Great Rivers Greenways. The agency put on a huge community dinner to celebrate 25 years and 140 miles of greenways built in the St. Louis region. The Great Gather Round featured a 1,500-foot table circling the entire Missouri History Museum. Guests were able to bring food from home or buy from various local vendors and food trucks.
The idea of connecting everyone together is such a big part of our work that we thought, a giant table, a giant circle would be really wonderful to let people meet each other, talk about what they love about the Greenways, and just have a great meal on a beautiful day here in September.
And how about this? The table was able to sit 1,500 people. I had to pause for that because I'm going, that's a lot of people sitting together, breaking bread and having a good time. The weather worked out for them tonight. Will the weather work out for the rest of this week, my friend?
Yeah, just going to be hot and over the next 4 days or so, but this weekend rain chances go up.
Okay, sounds good. My grass will be happy. And that's all of our time for 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow, everybody.